Hello, this is Clemmy Games and welcome to the video. Let's get started with some quick picks worth checking out. TANGLEDEEP is a roguelike featuring 12 classes and gorgeous 16-bit artwork. Do check out the previous video on this for more details. Another title previously covered is Remnants of NAEZITH, a speedrunner's dream, since the objective is to get to the end of the level as quickly as possible through the use of grappling hooks. Regions of Ruin is a 2D side-scrolling RPG. Think Kingdom New Lands, but add to that open world design, loot, crafting, leveling, and direct combat. And finally, In Celebration of Violence is a top-down roguelite with, I hate to say it, Dark Souls-like combat with deliberate attacks and stamina. There is a progression system here, so you get stronger run after run, with a mysterious and vague story that seems to draw people in. Moving on, here are the top 5 best indie games for February 2018. Number 5, Into the Breach. Subset Games is the developer behind 2012's FTL Faster Than Light, an indie darling due to its combination of real-time space combat, crew management, ship upgrades, and roguelite elements. The second entry, Into the Breach, was released last month to critical acclaim. In it, you control a team of 3 time-traveling mechs sent from the future back in time to save the world from an alien bug species known as the Vagante. On the surface, the 8x8 play area looks rather restricting, but there are a large variety of strategic options since you can move the aliens around with your attacks, causing them to whiff on attacks or to hit their allies, saving cities in the process. I really love the theme and what I have seen of it thus far, reminding me a little bit of Pacific Rim. Much like Celeste previously, this looks to be the standout title last month. As a side note, the numbering in these videos are meaningless, and on the contrary, Into the Breach is very good. I just wanted to get some obvious picks out of the way in favor for fantastic but lesser known titles. Number 4, Delver. This is a first-person dungeon crawler with roguelite elements, released out of early access last month after about 4 years in the program. While the previously highlighted Slasher's Keep uses the cel-shaded art style, Delver instead opts for more traditional pixel art. Your objective is to look for a magical orb in an ever-changing dungeon with more of a classic dungeon crawler RPG leveling system in place. There are no classes, so to speak, and you can switch between melee weapons, bows, and wands, with your weapon being dependent on your character's stats. When you die, you lose most of your stuff except a starting dagger, some randomized items, and all your gold and all previous inventory slots unlocked, so there is some progression from run to run. Number 3, OPUS Rocket of Whispers. An adventure game set in a hauntingly beautiful snowy apocalypse, the main story revolves around the construction and launching of a rocket for the space burial of lost souls. It does sound kind of weird, but compelling at the same time. Scavenging and crafting are the mainstays here, but this looks to be more of a narrative experience. Number 2, Vagante. A roguelite platformer in the vein of Spelunky, this game was released out of early access after about 4 years, and the gameplay and systems have been polished to the extent that it is a fantastic final product. There isn't much of a story here, but as in most games, the allure of treasure and riches gets us started, where there are multiple classes and perks to choose from. Leveling up unlocks new abilities during a run, with the equipment having special effects and stats. One overarching theme that I have seen is that this game has quite a steep difficulty curve and is pretty punishing, with instant kill traps and things of that nature. However, it should provide challenge and fun for roguelite aficionados, and I simply adore the art in this one. Number 1, Dungreed. Yet another roguelite platformer makes the list, but this seems to follow in the footsteps of Rogue Legacy, only this time there is an entire town building aspect. If you watched my video on Full Metal Furies, you will know that I am a big fan of Rogue Legacy, so seeing a game that takes elements from that and simply runs with it absolutely warms my heart. This has both melee and ranged combat, with the curious note that the ranged weapons are guns, which don't exactly fit in with a conventional fantasy theme, but nonetheless looks to be pretty fun. Perhaps the aspect which I love the most is that this seemingly came out of nowhere from, I believe, a Korean developer, and simply showcases the quality that indie games can provide. This has continued to give me hope for the future of the medium, taking the #1 spot of the month. And this is my list of the top 5 best indie games for February 2018. Please subscribe to keep up with the best indie games, and I will see you in the next video.